Yes, there you go. Okay, we're here with Ron Bumblefoot, the mighty one.
There we go.
How are
Greetings. Hello.
how are you?
Good, very good. And you?
I'm good. I'm good. A little bit,
I know we already talked about all this before.
yeah, a little bit of runny nose for the people that
Mm,
are gonna watch or hear this in the podcast on YouTube or whatever. I have a little bit of runny nose, so I apologize for the sneezing and the voice that I have, but I'm so glad that we made it with you. So happy to have you here. Thank you so much for taking the time, Rob.
no, thank you. I
Ron,
appreciate it.
thank you so much. Thank you so much. The whole community of Shred Music TV is a big fan of you. I am also a follower right there, a big fan of you too. So thank you so
Thank you.
much. So what are you doing right now? What's going on with your projects right now? What you have right now going on?
All right. I have the Bumblefoot Returns. I
I
have that
saw that.
album
Mm-hmm.
and just been promoting the crap out of it and just constantly going and doing everything with that, practicing the impossible songs from it, and have some gigs coming up. So I just gotta work on those songs and get those drilled into my head. And been producing a bunch of bands, a lot of startup bands, and just helping them get on the right path and get them started well.
Great.
I have a deal with a record label Deco Records where the bands I produce, they can have retail distribution automatically through Deco.
Wow, great.
So that's usually something that an unsigned first, starting up band can get. So it's just something that I want to do to help these bands that I work with. Uh, and what else? What else?
Well, tell me
What am I
about the
doing?
album. Tell me the album because I saw that Guthrie Govan is on it, Steve Vai, Brian May.
Yeah.
That's sick, man. Of course, no less from you that you're right there with all of them. Um,
Oh,
but like,
no.
wow, what a Brian May. That's like, I mean, all of them, of course, Guthrie and Steve Vai, but Brian May, that's like,
Yeah,
wow. When
something
I read
special.
that, I'm
Just
like, wow.
it was the song, it was just the perfect song for him. Like on the album, like it just had all these harmonies and melodies, and anything I would have played in that first solo section, I would have just been trying to channel his spirit, and I would have been just a fake version of him. So I asked him if he would lay it down, and he did. And I'm glad it gave the song what it truly needed. Yeah.
I checked, if I'm not mistaken, I was listening to your whole catalog on Spotify this week, but it's not yet in Spotify, right?
Oh, it is.
It
Yeah,
is? Oh man,
it
so
is.
I don't know what's happening. Maybe when I downloaded it, because I told you for guys, I'm working at cruise ship. Maybe when I downloaded it, maybe I didn't download the full catalog
Well,
that
it should be 14 songs.
okay.
The fifth song is with Steve Vai. The eighth song is with Brian May.
Hmm.
The 11th song is with Ben Karras on violin from the amazing band Thank You Scientist. Yes, uh, the 10th song is with Guthrie. So if you got 14 songs, it should be there. I think with Spotify, they don't include the featuring in the name a lot of times. They
Okay.
just have like underneath it'll say Bumblefoot and this person.
Yeah.
So it's very easy to go unnoticed with
Okay. Yeah, but
Spotify.
it's okay. So you
Yeah.
guys know already it's out there. Also, I saw that you have merchandise that you have. I think like you did the LP thing like the for people that really like vintage stuff, right? Like
I
you
gotta
have
show you.
yeah, yeah.
So, yes, if you're gonna do physical stuff, you gotta go all out. I just thought back to when albums would come out when I was a kid and how it was like this major event and you couldn't wait for it
Oh yeah.
and you got something, there's something you held in your hands. And I wanted it to be like that. So I did as much as I could for this album release that I could, and there's still more to come. But for the vinyl, so it's full of artwork and more artwork and more artwork. And then it's a double LP with more artwork. And what I did is on the second disc, I did three sides of music, and the fourth side is artwork, more art.
Wow, man.
So
Looks
that,
sick. Looks awesome.
and that's how vinyl should be. It's, of course, 180 gram, the better quality. I did three sides because if I squeezed it onto two sides, the length of each side would have been so long that it could have degraded the sound quality. Once you get past like 25 minutes or so with vinyl, you start losing a little something. And if I stretched it out into four sides, it would have been a little too much getting up to change the album. So three sides and the fourth side just art seemed the right
How
way to go.
how was your inspiration for this album? How, I mean, how was the production? How was everything, man? Because I know record an album, put it out is a lot of work. People
It
don't
is,
understand.
yes.
People don't understand, but it's a lot. It's a commitment. It's a lot of time consuming stuff. So how was this new adventure? The return, new adventures.
It was easy. It was fun. It was just whatever I felt like in that moment. That's the kind of song that came out. I didn't have a plan of I'm going to write this kind of album. I didn't know how it was going to end up. It depends on what happened that day. For this one song, Moonshine Hootenanny, that one I just happened to come home while there was an ad on the TV for some documentary of blues players. I was like, oh shit, I want to see that. And started watching it. And there was one dude just playing this rhythm of some kind of song, boom, ja, chicka, chaka, boom, ja, chicka, chaka, boom. And I immediately was like, yeah. And I got inspired and I just immediately, without thinking, without planning anything, I just grabbed the guitar and just started. And I just started doing that, and I was like, "All right, I got to get to the studio. I got to remember this." And went to the studio and just came up with part by part. I just laid that down, and then I was like, "All right, I should stop and be a riff." And then another riff, and then let it go to the four chord. Where'd it go? And then four to the five. And then like what I guess you could call the chorus, at least like the hook of the song goes up to, and then a second verse. And that time I was like, let's make it crazy. Let's make it sound like a bunch of drums falling down the stairs and the guitar following it, and then doubling up the chorus and then going into this crazy middle that's unexpected with all this weird can't find the one droning low guitar riffs, and just take it to a whole other unexpected place and then bring it back, and just you just think of it like a road trip that you're taking, and you're just picturing images that you're scoring, a scene of some kind. It's like everything should be like a little mini movie that you're watching, and this is the score to it. And that's sort of how I approached everything. It's always how I approach, like if I'm doing music for a TV show or a video game or some horror movie or something like that. Uh, they provide the visuals, and it makes it very easy to, just write to that. Uh, you want to do the same thing, only the visuals are in your imagination. It's something that you feel that you're just sort of projecting uh, inside your eyelids, and you write to that and you say, where is this going? Where do you expect it to go? What would be a twist you don't expect to happen?
Yeah, but
And
that you're talking about, that's something that this is a very touchy subject, but like um I think that AI cannot do that yet. Like I'm checking all these AI new things that they create music with it. I mean,
Mhm.
it's scary to be honest, because I don't know, in 20 years it's very scary. Um,
Well, yeah, even by next year, it's going to be writing
yeah, it's
really amazing
yeah,
songs, and
yeah,
it's
like
getting there in a lot of styles. But there is
yeah,
still
but I still know that's the soul, man. I think that still know
No.
that thing, you know.
The
Like,
human intuition, the
yes,
human something, I don't know if that could ever be replaced. I mean, as it keeps learning, it's gonna, AI is sort of like a sociopath. Like it learns and it imitates our behavior,
yeah, yeah,
uh, so that it can uh, exist and coexist.
yeah.
Uh,
But that
uh,
you're saying that also that you're saying that you're practicing your new songs, right? That they're.
mhm.
I have a little story that I did a tour this year in Brazil with Kiko and Kiko Lorbeira, and he was with a singer,
Yeah.
and it's Alirio Nieto. And we met there, a really nice guy, and of course we were flying, everywhere. And I started to talk to him, and he's like, "Oh, I have a new album, coming up, and let me show you." And he kind of showed me, and I was like, "Wow, that sounds great." So he showed me the song. I was like, "Oh, that's doable. I can play that," because he was kind of like, "I might want to play next year or something." So kind of like insinuating to play or something. I'm like, "I'm in, man. I'm in." And then, oh, and I have a guest. I'm like, "Yeah, sure." He pulled up the phone and again, and let me show you this one. And he's Bumblefoot. I'm like, oh shit. I didn't say anything. I was just like, mm-hmm. And he played the solo. And to myself, I said, I'm screwed. If you want me to play this, I'm screwed. But of course, I said to him, like, oh, yeah, 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 I can do it for sure, I can do it.
Look, if I could play something, anybody could play it. It's just practice.
Yeah,
I
but
am an ape.
no, no,
So
no.
if
It will take me. You're the kind of guy that honestly, if I get a gig replacing you one day in my life, I don't want to replace you because you're so unique, man. So this is the kind of guy that you don't want to like place anywhere. You know what? Is another guys that like kind of your language. Let's say like the Paul Gilbert guys that more as a sequence kind of thing that is also very difficult to play. And he's amazing. Don't get me wrong. He's one of my favorite, but it's more my kind of thing. With you, it's unpredictable and these techniques, man, and it's so experimental that I can lose the gig. But yeah, so I was just like myself, I'm just like, oh, I'm screwed. But I told him like, man, yeah, easy, and it sounds amazing, man. I can't wait to hear that album. Sounds really good.
cool.
So right now you said that you have a gig. You told me I have a gig coming up in Jakarta, right?
Yeah, big one. It's 85,000 seat stadium. It's going to be with Billy and Eric from Mr. Big. Now
Wow,
Steve Vai is going to join on guitar as well. Uh,
awesome.
Gary Sharon from Extreme will be singing. Dino Jalusic will be singing. Derek Sherinian, my Sons of Apollo bandmate, will be on keys. And there's the Indonesian band Dewa 19, which is like the biggest rock band of Indonesia for decades. A great bunch of guys.
Wow, that's
So,
coming up
yeah,
like soon, right? Like
September 6th. Yeah,
okay.
coming up.
So we might be able to pull this out before that so we can get some promotion right there for the gig. That I bet you
Cool.
don't need it because if it is, man, if it is that big, it's pretty easy to get everyone there to go. I mean, sounds amazing.
Never hurts to tell about it. Yeah.
All right. I wanna ask you something. You were talking about music for video games or movies or whatever, and I was watching some of your interviews, and you talk about a publishing company that you created back then, I think on the 90s, if I'm not mistaken, like a publishing company. Um,
Mhm.
so how that works, like making music for this kind of stuff, how that works, if you have themes like on TV or commercials or this kind of stuff. How that you can give us like a glimpse, like something of how that works. So I'm very interested on that. Like,
Oh yeah. Yeah. After I finished my deal with Shrapnel Records in the mid 90s, I started my own record label for my own music. And I got distributors in all different parts of the world. And yeah. And when it comes to publishing, that is the rights to the songs themselves. Now, there's different aspects of it. A record label, if they're paying you to record, usually in the record deal, it means that they are going to own the recording of the songs. They don't own the songs, but they own that recording of it. And it probably also says in that record deal that you can't re-record the songs. This has to be like the exclusive recording of those songs that they paid for. So if someone wants to use those songs, they have to use that recording and get permission from the record label. And if you're not, if your record label isn't very friendly, they might say no and screw you out of a lot of opportunities. So you want to own your recordings. Then when it comes to publishing, as the songwriter, there's two halves to publishing. Publishing is when you actually take the songs and you put them to work. You get them, they're being played on the radio, or they're in the background of a football game or something like whatever it is, or they're in a car commercial, something like that. That's where publishing comes in. As the songwriter, you get half the publishing as a songwriter. The other half goes to the publishing company. Now, that publishing company can also be you, or it could be a company that you hired to push your music and to make it available for everybody. You should own your publishing, all of it, both halves of it. The songwriter's share, which you will have, and the publisher's share, which you should have. Get 100%. And from there, now it's a lot easier with the internet for people to find music and for people to make music available. You want to go to like a sync company, one that these people will go to when they're looking for music. Yeah, so in the early 2000s, I was doing a lot of music for all the MTV shows and VH1, a lot of different shows. I did the theme song to this Japanese game show that was like a mixture of Jackass and a game show. It was called MXC.
All right.
And there was also that metal show that was on VH1. I did the theme song to that. I did music for the Osbournes, for Hogan Knows Best, for like every show on MTV that you could think of. Pimp My Ride, whatever it was, like all of those in the early 2000s. I did one of the first video game soundtracks that used real music when it switched from 8-bit boop, 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 boop kind
Yeah.
of stuff to actual 16-bit audio. It was a Sega game that's really underground now. It's a really weird game called Wild Woody. And it was about this pencil that would like draw its own weapons and things and erase the bad guys. And it was just like somebody was on massive amounts of drugs when they came up with this game. It was the weirdest thing. So I made like 28 different 2-minute songs to go with each of the levels of the game, of like a pirate level and a cemetery level and a outer space kind of level and like all of that stuff. Uh, yeah, I've done a lot of music for a lot of things, a lot of weird indie horror movies, and it's fun. And it all comes back to instrumental guitar music. That's what instrumental music is. Like there's so many people that will say, "Oh, there's no place for instrumental music," just because they're thinking radio and video channels and all those things. You just sneeze. God bless you. God bless you. But yeah, this instrumental music is out there more than ever. As much as we hate Spotify and it fucks us in the ass financially, more people can find instrumental music than ever.
Mhm.
So the fans know where to go and where to look for it. Uh, it's doing very well when you have Vi and Satch doing a huge tour and you have so many generations of people doing stuff, whether it's intervals or Pliny or whoever, or, Tosin, like it's not going anywhere and you hear it all the time. Every time you turn on the TV, you're going to hear instrumental music in the background somewhere. Uh,
Sorry.
it's out there. It's out there plenty.
I was going to ask you that. So you, sorry for my voice again.
No,
Um,
it's okay. Yeah, yeah. Kick it out. Kick out all the gunk out of the
okay.
lungs. Ugh, get it out.
No,
There you go.
you make me laugh. That's why, man. That's why. Um, I'm glad that you talk about those guys, like the new generation,
Yeah.
like those guys. So you follow them. I mean, you listen to them, I guess.
Oh, sure, yeah, yeah. I don't just listen to the boomer stuff. Uh, it's and everyone should listen to all of it. You should listen to Charlie Christian from like 100 years ago almost, and the things he did that led to just a lot of the good speed shuffle players, and that led to rock and roll, that led to more classic rock, that led to metal, that branched off into so many things of neoclassical and fusion, and the kind of things that the young kids are doing now, where they've really summed it all up and created their own sound with it, where they're using like every technique all over the fucking place. It's great. Yeah. And I'm curious to see 20 years from now what it's going to be. And for me, I think a big part of it is digital modeling. It allows things in the digital realm that would be impossible sound-wise in the analog realm. And of course, tube amps, yes, they do sound the best. That's why you're never going to see a tube amp that's saying, yes, we're trying to just sound like this digital thing. No, no. Digital modelers are modeling these great sounding tube amps, or just whatever amps. That's okay. As long as the quality is there, and then yeah, it's at a point where if you dial it in right, you really can tell the difference. Unless you put them back to back, like right next to each other, you'll notice a difference. But the technology is getting better and better, and with the incredible things you could do with routing, and just being able to control so many parameters within every block of every preset you make, it's getting incomparable. Where there are certain things like on my album, I wouldn't be able to do it just playing through an amp. I need my Line 6 Helix because I'm using these double delays that echo at a different pitch at different times, followed by this filter and all that kind of stuff to take, for me, what I do to the next level. Like for me, I can only play so many notes and do my shtick so many times, whether it's a thimble or this or whatever it is. Or yeah, now the next frontier is our sound. And it's great that we have digital modeling that can allow, and if you integrate it with the tube amp and use it just for, the effects, still, you're able to do things that would be almost, in some cases, impossible with only analog gear.
So let's say
So, yeah,
now you're talking about the Line 6 that you use.
that's my choice, but there's so many out there. Yeah.
Yeah, but my question goes to, you're going to Jakarta right now.
Hmm.
Show. Do you use it there or
Yeah.
where do you
I'm
go to?
using a Line 6 Helix, and it's going to go direct out right into the front of house, into the PA of the venue. And that's how I do it now, is I travel with a Line 6 Helix, whether it was playing Hellfest or whether it's doing, just a clinic for 20 people. Helix, direct outs. And now I'm even taking it a step further where I'm playing guitar into my little Focusrite 2i2,
Okay.
and that goes into my laptop into Cubase where I have a backing track, and
Something like
then
that,
I
right?
have there you go. You can't go wrong with them.
Yeah.
They are so stable and reliable, and they get it done. No issues. They're fantastic. So yeah, I'm using Cubase. I play my guitar right into it, and I have all the tracks monitor enabled, so the sound, whatever I play, will come out. And each track has a different guitar sound that I would change a preset for, and I have them all muted except for one of them that you get to hear. And then when it goes to a certain part of the song, I have it automated where it'll switch, mute that track, open up the next track. So now you're hearing the sound from that one. So now it's getting to a point where, as long as my laptop doesn't fuck up, I could play at least my own songs. I could play them just using the laptop without even bringing the Helix, and using the Helix native plugin and having Cubase with the backing track and automating my presets and changes. I could
Like,
even
you don't
use
have
it
to be,
to automate the wah pedal. Instead of
oh,
using a wah,
crap.
you can
Because you don't have to
automate the
be
wah block.
You don't
Yeah,
have to be dancing with the pedal board. That can
no more
take
dancing.
a little bit the magic sometimes when you're like, pressing stuff and just one
Hmm.
second that you think and you're like, this happens often
It
to,
happens. Yeah.
yeah, but
Uh,
that's awesome. That because I saw, for example, with Marty, he has a guy, the guitar tech is the guy who he
does his wah and does his pedal changes,
yeah,
right?
yeah, we have Luisinho in Brazil and he was just there, with the quarter cortex and he was like, pressing the
Yeah.
stuff, and the guy can just go there and focus on the show. Let's put it that
Yeah.
way.
He could
Which,
just play and perform and just engage with the audience and not have to stare at his feet as much.
yeah, like
Like,
100%.
or
I think that's amazing. That's
yeah.
amazing. Wow, well, that's very impressive that you can do that with the Wawa. That's also
Yeah.
insane.
Yeah, with the Helix native plugin, uh, you can automate every parameter. So you could do it all. Yeah.
Wow. I have a question for you here. Um, sorry again for the cough.
No, it's all right.
That the guys from the Shred Music TV are like, please ask this. Um, and this is like the normal standard questions. Your influences, like tell me
Oh,
about your influences, like maybe like back then and now, maybe maybe
mhm.
you have the ones like I don't know, me for example, Iron Maiden is like you tell me I'm I don't know, having listened to Iron Maiden I think my entire life, and I have a new ones that like I like for example, Two Door Cinema Club. It's like a band from Europe. Um, and that kind of, like a new stuff. So can you tell me more about that? Like your influences, are new influences that maybe
Mhm.
you have?
It began when I was 5 years old and I heard the band Kiss, the Kiss Alive album. So for me, the first influences were Kiss and the Beatles. And my goals were not guitar related, they were band related. It was about being in a band, being a team where everyone contributes and makes songs, rock songs. And yeah, and I originally wanted to be a drummer, but my brother wanted to be a drummer, so he became the drummer. And I wanted to be a bassist, but I was too small, I was too young. So had a little kid-sized guitar and started on guitar and stayed with it. So it was always about bands. So growing up, it was all the current music, which is funny to say, because the current music was The Who, Led Zeppelin, Pink Floyd, things like that. It was all the bands of the 70s, because I am 55 years old. So we're talking 50 years ago, 5 years old, and listening to things from 50 years ago,
You
45
don't
years ago,
look
40.
you don't look 55, just to let you know. You look great.
Well, I thank you, thank you, thank you. Yes. Don't drink too much, don't smoke, don't do drugs, and just for men, medium brown on the beard. That'll do it.
So you
And then
have
you look a few
those
years.
bands growing up, and then when it came like the shredding part, because I don't know how I mean, how, yeah, I guess Hendrix and that kind
Well,
of
yeah, I loved Hendrix and Jimmy Page, just the creativity of his tones and his production of what he did with the Zeppelin albums. Then I heard Eddie Van Halen, and that warped my fragile little brain. And it just opened the door, and it was the permission. It was okay, be creative. See what can you do with this guitar? What can you do to a string to get more voices out of it? What can you do? And I just started experimenting a lot, all different things. And I was building guitars, and they were awful. They, I I can build a guitar. They suck. But I had this one guitar that I made, this Swiss cheese guitar that I made out of an old Ibanez Roadstar from like 1983, and drilled holes in it, painted it yellow, threw some DiMarzios in there, and that was my main guitar for like 13 years that I toured with and did everything with until I hooked up with Vigier. But yes, so I heard Eddie Van Halen. I was like, holy shit, okay. And then that made me think more about, all right, what can we do as a guitar player, not just as a band member and a songwriter? And then soon after, Ingve came out. I'm like, whoa, all right, we got some practicing to do. And started just trying to learn everything off the Steeler album, his acoustic intro to his solo and just the everything. And then Flexible came out. I'm like, what the hell is going on? Attitude Song. And getting into that. And by that point, I was taking guitar lessons for a long time. And it was always just studying the academics, reading and music theory, getting into jazz and classical and all of that.
I'm
And I
stop you right
started,
there 1 second. Now
Mhm.
that you say classical, before I forget, when I listened to your first album, I think it's 95, I'm not mistaken. 95?
Yeah,
I think 95,
yeah.
right? The Adventures of Bumblefoot, like the it's very experimental, like very, very experimental. And do you listen to like like composers like I don't know, like Oliver Messiaen? You know who's Oliver Messiaen? Oliver Messiaen is one, or Bella
It's like
Bartok.
more of the avant-garde composers
Yeah,
and things.
do you because it's very man, it's very crazy in a good way. Very yeah, because like man, you need to understand like my generation that is I'm 40. So that's like, the next generation, the 90s. We didn't have the internet. We have the time of the Walkman and a mixtape, and and you exchange the music,
Hmm.
and that was amazing for me. And I will tell the story. Had taekwondo lessons, taking the balls there was forever. So that was my time to listen to all this music and teenager rage stuff. So you listen, okay, Metallica, Iron Maiden, you're playing guitar and you're like, okay, I can play that. Okay, next level, Megadeth. All right. Then a guy came with these REH videos and this sharp record stuff, man, and you're like, wow, like we saw that back then, and actually we're kind of like, oh, Van Halen is great, which you start to appreciate more Van Halen later on because you see all these guys already playing all this stuff that is insane, you know, and then the composition stuff is the one that really like got me going with you because I'm like, wow, it's very experimental, it's very different. I mean, as you play and stuff, but the composition too. So like how are you like that what came from, man? That came from where influences in your first album? Like how that
Um,
became to
Jazz theory and just a lot of experimenting. I like to challenge myself and I like to experiment. And I think it showed up in a lot of the music. Some weird shit. Yeah. Um, yeah, and just having a sense of humor about it all.
Yeah.
Uh,
No, I
yeah.
mean, I love it, man. That's what I was telling you because sometimes when I hear your music or like some Steve Vai or even cacophony, whatever, and sometimes they have these harmonies with the whole scale notes and it's very different. You know what I mean? Like, of course, you have the neoclassical stuff, very classical Mozart, Sebastian Bach, all that kind of stuff. That is, let's say, that's like the mainstream like the mainstream in classical music, like that's
The
the
the Baroque legacy
yes,
dudes.
they
Yeah.
were so that's usually like like that's like the mainstream right there. But then you have people playing all these second minors crap that sounds like very
Yeah.
different and experimental and stuff. And so I just always wonder, like, I guess a lot
Well,
of
I
that makes sense. Yeah.
always loved like the romantic era piano
Mm.
classical stuff. And then just the intense, you know, psychotic stabbing Tchaikovsky and Stravinsky and all of
Oh,
that.
there you go.
And
So,
then
yeah.
getting into when everyone started really fucking with it all, you know, Schoenberg, Slonimsky, and just kind of breaking the diatonic rules
Yeah.
and venturing out and saying, what about 12 note music? What about just dividing octaves and making runs just from that. Like if you take the same riff and you play it every, uh, you know, whatever it is,
Yeah.
every quarter of an octave. Or yeah, actually, I think I did that in the song "Strangles" on the first album. I remember there was
Mhm.
a
I
and
was going to tell you about that song and a story that I went to college for music education and the bachelor thing. And
Mhm.
I saw all these composers and I have to analyze that. And it was very boring, man, because it was just like the paper. So it kind of sucks. It kind of like, and then I'm like, man, I hate these. But then I found your music. And then I found Cacophony and I was like, oh, okay. So I can, these guys, I'm like taking like, I don't know if I bet they're hearing these guys, but I can now relate being a guitar, metal, rock player, whatever. For me, it was very difficult to like analyze that. But then with your music and with experimenting and stuff, it was easier for me to like, oh, okay, now I understand how it sounds. I understand seconds. I understand the sevens. I understand all that you're saying. So that's it. Now you can please play for us.
yeah, like I remember in the solo, I was building up, and it seemed like it's just, it really was like a Soninsky type of thing of just taking a pattern and moving it up. So the idea was just like E7 sharp 9 with a 13. And if you start throwing in like the sharp 11 to it, and if you start moving that around, if you go to its tritone, you're almost kind of getting the same thing.
Sorry, Ron, but maybe you need to point out the microphone to the guitar because your voice sounds great, but the guitar for some reason I cannot.
Oh, I wonder if Zoom is doing that thing where it's like, oh, your guitar is background noise. Let's get rid of that.
Yeah, maybe.
Let me see. Let me check. Yeah, it might be one of those things where no matter how loud I play, it's just gonna cut it out. Let me see if I try it on the electric, uh, if it'll be any better. Uh,
Mm. No, it's cutting
it's
yeah.
it's Zoom, Zoom, Zoom hates guitars.
So
Uh,
so we're gonna do this. I hope I'm gonna be in New York in November and December. Maybe I can go to your studio. Maybe I can go to your studio and you can show me all that for another interview, a quick interview.
we could, but I want to see if I can like get this. Okay, record, blah, 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 blah. Like, where the fuck is the setting for sound? Like, here's the audio, and it's giving me all of this. Select a speaker, select a microphone, but what about actual audio settings
Your
where
sound,
we can
your voice
take
is
it?
great. Your voice sounds great. Sounds perfect.
Hmm. Yeah, I think if you're totally not hearing the guitar at all when I play,
At all, yeah.
it's oh wait, set professional and audio settings. Let me try this. Wait, I think I got it. Okay, I am in the spot. Speaker. Okay, spatial audio. Voices sound like they're coming from no output. Okay, here it is. Microphone input. Zoom background noise removal. Okay, let's get rid of that. Auto. Original sound for musicians. Now, now we are going to hear the guitar. Let me make sure there's not an okay to hit. Original sound for musicians. All right, let's try this again, and I'll bet you we'll be able to hear it now.
No, it doesn't sound, man. It does.
Nothing.
No,
What the what?
your voice sounds perfect, but the guitar doesn't
Okay,
sound at all. I
I
got it.
just clicked the thing that said like or, enable original sound for musicians, and it should have gone to like it should have done that. It should have fixed it. It should have fixed it. Um, that sucks moose balls. Um,
That's why we need to do it in New
okay,
York.
well, I'll sing the notes. Okay. E7 sharp 9. really E13 sharp 9 sharp 11, right? Boom, doo, 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 doo. And if we go up a tritone, boom, doo, doo, doo. So if you take that and if you go in between and just treat it almost like a diminished every 1.5 steps,
Mm-hmm.
you go down and you have the root, then the 13, 13, and sharp 11. And then you get in a flat 2 to the 5. And if you went down again, you have your sharp 11, your sharp 9, your root, your fifth, and then the flat 2 again. So now it's kind of like you're getting, when you put those together, you're getting an 8-note scale, the whole tone scale, where you have root,
Mm-hmm.
flat 2, or flat 9, sharp 9. Do, do, do. You have your third, you have your sharp 11, and your 5. You have your 13, your 6, and your dominant 7. So that's what you get from that. So you can easily just, we're not going to hear it, but so you don't hear a note, do you?
No.
So
I mean, I'm right now like, of course, I don't have perfect pitch or anything like that, but of course, when you're telling me the sound, the tritone comes, and I'm like, oh,
mhm.
okay. And I know the
Like when
sound.
I sing it, do you hear it? If I
Yeah,
go,
yeah, oh yeah,
okay.
yeah, yeah.
Do, 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 boom. And you just keep building it that way, and I'm not going to hear a fucking note, damn it. But
But
it's
but anyway,
those kind of, that would be a Slanimsky idea. Uh,
great.
and
Now
then,
I have my answers. Thank God.
mhm.
Great.
So yeah, that would be where it's just more of a pattern. And, a lot of musical purists will say, well, that's not musical. But if that's the case, like, how far do you want to go down that hole and say, well, then we should only play, Christmas songs in Ionian?
Yeah.
It's like you have to branch out and you have to just, there's lots of different types of music, and it's not just Western music, and it's not just whole, half, whole, half to work with. And, are those people going to say that Eastern music using 3/4 steps is not music? Or, yeah, you just have to have an open mind about it. But at the same time, we all like what we like and we don't what we don't. And there's no, that's
Like
how it is. Yeah. So if you don't like
good or
something,
bad.
that's
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah, like,
Yeah. If you don't like it, good. If it's shit to you, fine. Go listen to something you like. If it's interesting to you, cool. Explore it more. Yeah.
oh, great. I want to ask you also, making that album, how was back then? I actually really like when I talk to you guys. I interview another guitar players from Charbonnel back then in the 90s, 80s. For me, it's I don't know, like a dream, like because I saw you guys on the VHS, in my house. I'm like, oh my gosh, I want to be there. And and you guys, well, you did it, you were part of the label, because that's when you're like in Sharpnail back then, you're like the shit, basically. You know what I mean? Like the best of the best of the best, period. And as a guitar player, how was that, man? How was that like back then, being in that?
Ah, well, originally I did not want to be an instrumental guitarist on an instrumental label. And Mike Varney, he wrote up a nice review of my music in a Guitar Player magazine in August 1989. And he offered me a situation with a drummer and a bassist where we can make an album. And I told him I just want to stick to vocal music and my dream of doing bands. So we stayed in touch, we stayed friends, and I would do a song here and there for different comp CDs. He did Ominous Guitars from the Unknown, I think it was 91. And I put a song on that. And his brother Mark had a label called Legato Records. So he did a series called Guitar on the Edge Records. So I did songs for number two, three, and four. And then in 1994, Mike told me that he's starting a record label, like a division of Shrapnel, that's going to have vocal bands on it. And asked if I would be interested. I was like, yeah, let's do it. So signed the deal. And then he said, well, now that you're signed, we're going to do an instrumental album. I was like, what the fuck? So, so I had the idea of, this Bumblefoot album because, and that all goes back to just a song. Like my wife is a veterinarian and Bumblefoot is the name of an animal disease, ulcerative pododermatitis. And while she was studying, and I came across that, and I was like, that's a funny name, Bumblefoot. So I wrote a song called Bumblefoot. So when we did the album, I had this idea that I would name every song after a different weird animal disease, and then write a song that I felt like matches the name in some way. Strawberry foot rot, fistulous withers, strangles, rinderpest, blue tongue, scrapie, orf, all these weird animal diseases. And I just wrote songs. It started off where I started with the names. I knew that Bumblefoot would be the opening track and that it would be called The Adventures of Bumblefoot. And it would be this sort of comic book looking thing, which is why 30 years later, putting out this new album, Bumblefoot Returns. Uh, I did the same idea, just more evolution to it. So now, instead of it being this cartoon bee foot thing and burning buildings overhead, it's my double neck guitar and it's a spaceship and all this space shit. And my cat Simon is piloting the ship, and it's just an updated version. It's now compared to then. And
Are you
same, yeah.
are you planning to tour with the album next year? Or
I'm making sure I'm ready to play the songs, but I don't plan on touring. My dream in life is to never fucking tour again. Well, no, seriously, I did it for decades.
yeah,
And when the pandemic hit, I just realized how much life I missed, how many things. And I just realized, like, I don't want to spend my entire life away and just living out of a suitcase and being this distant entity that's not part of family get-togethers or anything, and missing every wedding and funeral and everything and birthday and just not part of my own life. So I'm touring less. I'm still going out and playing shows,
like
still doing things.
more spread, I guess. Yeah, like some shows
Yeah,
here.
but I'm not spending my life on the road the way I did before the pandemic. After that show in Jakarta, as soon as I get back that morning from traveling, I'm doing a show right in Princeton, New Jersey. Something It's a fundraising show for this organization that helps teenagers with cancer. So doing that. So we're going to play and raise some, do some good. And after that, I am going to do 2 weeks in Arizona as part of Rock and Roll Fantasy Camp. It's going to be with Alice Cooper and Rob Halford, and going to do that. Yeah, lots of things coming up. I'm doing, music cruises, get to bring the wife. It's like a vacation for her, a playcation for me. And yeah, so I'm
What do you miss?
doing things.
What do you miss by on touring, and what you don't miss? You don't miss, of course, being away. And what do you miss? What do what do you like? Oh well, I like this a lot.
Oh, what do I miss about touring? Like,
Yeah.
uh, seeing the people I know and just, entertaining people, making them happy, seeing friends, making new friends, and just the connection. That's the part that I think everybody likes about doing it. You know, the travel. No one's going to say, I just love the travel. There's nothing like 25 hours of flights.
I hate that.
No,
I
no, it's
I,
nothing. Yeah.
I don't like that at all. Unless
No,
like
that,
you're Taylor Swift and you have your own jet or something like that.
and you know what? Even then, I'm sure it gets old.
Yeah.
I always say, you know, getting there sucks, being there is great. Uh, yeah. So it's that I love the food, just going to different places. And yeah, just the food is
What kind of food
different.
do you remember in like in Latin America?
Oh God, my God, what a meat fest. Ah,
Like,
phenomenal. Yes, yes. I was definitely, I left there 5 pounds swollen more and full of meat. Yeah, just Brazilian barbecue and Argentinian steak and everything. Yeah. Yeah, the food there is wonderful. Absolutely. And the people. Yeah. It's not just the food, it's the celebration and just like the enjoyment. It's a social thing.
yeah, yeah,
And that's fantastic. Yeah.
very different than the States. Yeah, it's very,
Yeah,
very.
it depends on the states. Like there's different places uh like you have to go somewhere in the states where there's a culture. You know, like if you go to Louisiana
Yeah,
and you get Cajun food there and get the real deal. Yeah. If you're getting you know, barbecue in the Midwest, there's things like that. If you're getting pizza as far as the states
taco.
goes in New York or even yeah, I'll say Chicago. Uh yeah, things like that.
New York, New York, New York.
Hmm.
Talking
So
about barbecue sauce, what about your hot sauce?
my hot
Like,
sauces,
yeah,
yes.
let's talk about that, man. That's I was checking that, and I'm so bad that I'm have such a bad acid reflux, so I have to be very careful with that kind of stuff. But my wife's she loves hot sauce, and I was like, Jake, he has one, and he was like, well, we need to try it, we need to buy it. So how is that? How are you doing with that? That's very interesting, though.
Yeah, yeah. I've been making hot sauce for a long time. I love it. It's my yeah, it's my I guess second passion or my other thing besides music. Uh yeah, I have it started there was a company that took me under their wing and released all the sauces for me and everything. And then that was in 2012, 2013. And then I sort of went into business for myself, got my own distributor and manufacturers and everything. And yeah, so since 2019, I have my own Bumblefoot's hot sauce. And I have a mild all-purpose red sauce with delicious Mediterranean herbs. I wanted a sauce that goes with every kind of food I like to eat. So if I'm eating Greek or Turkish food, if I'm eating Indian food, if I'm eating Chinese food or Thai food or Mexican food or Italian food, whatever it is, this is the sauce that I would choose. It's the sauce that you keep on the table all the time. So I named it the sauce. And then there's a barbecue-ish one, and both of these are mild. There's just a lot of flavor with a kick. This one has cherry and bourbon and chipotle, and it goes great with all kinds of meats and anything barbecue-ish or stir fry or veggies. And that one is called Bumblicious.
Bumblicious, wow, what a good
Bumblicious.
name. Bumblicious.
And
Can I get it anywhere in the States?
oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So I go to
Yeah.
Walmart and get Bumblicious.
Uh, you won't find them at Walmart and big places like that because
Okay.
they would require such a high volume of sauces more than I can make. And also because the next sauce I'm going to mention pretty much disqualifies me from being part of uh, a lot of places that sell food to human beings. The next sauce is so hot. One pinhead size little dot on your tongue will light your whole body on fire for about 10 to 15 minutes.
Wow.
And the show Hot Ones, they did a blog. It was in 2016, and they said that this sauce was the third hottest sauce in the world. and it is brutal. It never should have been created. The name of this sauce is Bumblefucked. Yeah. And the funny thing is, it's the bestseller,
Oh,
Bumblefucked.
yeah.
Yep. But one bottle will last years. If it
Okay.
doesn't, you're having too much of it. So this stuff, you just put one drop into an entire bowl of chili or a plate of food, and you'll feel it. Yeah,
It's
it's really serious chemistry.
for people that are listening to us and watching us, whatever. In the States, the hot sauce is a thing, man.
Oh yeah.
It's like a thing. Like people think in
Mhm.
Mexico all this stuff, but I think in the States it's like a big part of the I don't
It's a
know.
big part of our lives.
Yeah, yeah,
We
yeah.
love
It's a big
hot
part of the
sauce.
day. It's like a big thing. Wow, I need to try. I won't try that one. I will try Bumbleicious for sure. I have to get
And
it.
I do have a new sauce that I'm going to put out as part of the whole thing with this album. There's a song, Moonshine Hootenanny. So I'm putting out a hot sauce called Moonshine Hootenanny. It has, yeah, it's got, what do you call it? Peppers. I'm having a brain fart. My God. Yes, peppers and a lot of garlic and some dehydrated onion in there and some bourbon also in that one. That's the moonshine part. And I wanted something that would go really nicely with jambalaya and southern food. And it's not very hot, but it's got a lot of flavor. So I want sauces that have a ton of flavor to them, ones that you could even drink if you wanted to. And yeah. So Moonshine Hootenanny, that's the next sauce I'm putting out.
You guys know now, Bumblefoot has his own sauce. I'm gonna try as soon as I get. I'm in Europe, but at the end of the year, man, I'm gonna get it for
Well,
sure.
if you get the dude, get the bumble fucked. It'll clear up anything in your sinuses. It'll
I
wipe
know I
out
need it.
any living things in your body. It will destroy them.
I might, you know
Yes.
what? I'm gonna try. I'm gonna do a real reaction, and I'm gonna attack you on that. I'm gonna be dying doing that thing. I will. I
Oh.
will for sure. I will for. Going back to the guitar thing, Ron, how you created like your fretless like guitar? How all that happened? How double guitar? How how you have too much? I want to ask you that, like how you get all your like imagination for all that you do, and also after you answer that, I will ask you how you get the motivation, man. Because I just met you, we're just talking right here, for an hour almost, and you seem so full of life and motivation, like that's what I get from you. And man, that's awesome. Such a good sunshine, you know, that you're giving me, and that's an inspiration because music is hard, man. For some people, maybe they were lucky and their entire life was fine. For some others, no. And you need that motivation, that inspiration, and you're just radiant this sunshine thing, which is great, man. So I just
Well,
how
thank you.
you're welcome.
Well,
It's the
there's
truth,
I've
man. I'm
learned.
just telling you the truth, man. This
Well, I appreciate it. Yeah. Um, I've learned lots of things. I have suffered from suicidal depression my entire life.
yeah,
And uh, you realize that you don't really want to die. You just feel trapped in situations that you think you can't get out of and you think it's hopeless and you can't get out. So, what you need to do is you need to get rid of the things that destroy your spirit, the things that make you hate life. And you need to make those changes. That's what you need. You don't want to die. You're looking for change. So, change your life. You have to not pity yourself and say, oh, I'm just stuck here and there's nothing I can do. That's bullshit. You have all the power to change how you live, how you think, everything. So it starts with that. You need to just look at things differently. And you have to say to yourself, all right, I am not going to feel sorry for myself. And I'm not going to keep training my brain to react in this way to things that happen and realize that my reaction is all in my power. I choose it, and no one else chooses it for me. That is completely 100% me. So you start making the choices to see things the way you should, not in the ways that hurt yourself and are bad for yourself, but in ways that are good for yourself. And it's not bullshitting yourself, it's real. Okay. So, how do I stay motivated? I don't burn out on stupid shit. Like, if I just kept touring and touring and touring and was like, I'm missing my life, I'm missing this, I'm missing that, I would get depressed. I would feel unhappy. So I cut that out and I keep it to a minimum. I love producing. I love working with people and making their dreams happen. I love being the coach and getting people on the field and helping them, taking everything that I've done for 50 years and be able to use that to help other people. It's the greatest thing. Like I would rather help 100 people get on stage than get on stage myself. To me, it means more, and it's accomplishing more for this world. It's not about me. It's about what you leave this world to make it better, to help people. That is our purpose. That is what we're here for. It's not about ourselves. So, yeah, find balance, find diversity in what you do. Don't just have one channel of it. It can't just all be about playing guitar. You should be writing songs. You should be working with people. You should be playing with other people for their music. You should be teaching. Always teach what you learn. That's a very big thing. If somebody was good enough to teach you how to do something, take that gift they gave you and teach a million people, teach as many people as you can, spread it, help other people do it as well. So that is a big part of it all, is to get rid of the things that make you miserable, get rid of the people that make you miserable too. Don't hold on to that. You know, too many times we play with a bunch of assholes because, you know, for the sake of the music. But you know what? You can make that music with people that aren't assholes. Yeah, because that's just going to make you hate music. It's going to make you hate what you do. So it's not worth it because you only get to live this one time. We we think so. Uh, who knows? Uh, then we're going to get into philosophical shit. Of, if you can't prove or disprove something, you have to consider the fact that it could possibly happen, whatever outlandish thing it is. But assuming that you have this one life to live and you're going to grow old and you're going to die, that is guaranteed. Do you want to waste it on things that make you miserable, that take this love you have for music, this passion, this gift you have for making music, and to make you hate it, to ruin it? Don't let other people do that to you. Don't put yourself in situations and in patterns that do that to you. That is so fucking important. And it's more important than the music. It really is. Because you wonder, why do these musicians end up killing themselves?
Mm.
It's because they end up like that, have all the success and making amazing music. Why did they do it? Why do they feel like they need to disassociate from their own life
Yeah.
with drugs, or just they just get to that point? That's why. Uh, because they become slaves to it. They feel like they're trapped in situations they can't get out of. That's just all negative shit. And like this, it's not worth it. Music is not worth it. And if you do care about the music, you need to put your life first so that you could properly provide for your music and give the music the good life. Think of music as your child and you are the parent. Uh, don't be a shitty parent. Like, don't, you want to make sure that you can give that child the best life. And that starts with you getting your shit together. So that's really what you need to put first if you want your music to have a good life. And if you want to enjoy being a musician, and if you want to really pursue being a musician. Yeah, it's not easy. The money, the this, the that, the travel, boo hoo. You know what? Who the fuck said life is easy? It's not supposed to be. As the Stoics say, all the tough stuff is put there to thicken the plot, to challenge you, to strengthen you, to teach you. All the things that we consider bad, which is really just things that are out of our control and things we didn't plan on, are things that challenge us, that make us smarter, that make us stronger, that we learn so much from. We learn how to navigate roads that we haven't been on before. And you need that shit. You need the pain. You need all of that stuff. And don't feel bad for yourself when it happens. Say, all right, this right here, this fucking sucks, but I am going to learn so much from this and I'm going to use this. Like there's the old saying, the obstacle becomes the way. Yeah. You need to take all the challenges that happen and figure out how you can use them. When I had issues with a record label, I learned how to start my own label and I taught other people how to make their own label so that they were never in a situation where they lost their music.
Well,
Things like that. The obstacle becomes the way. Uh, yeah, there were so many things. I was in a car accident. I couldn't move my hands. I couldn't
oh
raise my
God.
arms. I was done. And I was living with nonstop pain. And I was like, all right, uh, that's it. So I learned so much from that, just how to just how to get past it, how to get past those things, how to bounce back, how to toughen up, how to fight through things, how to be even stronger than you were before. I became healthier than I was before the accident because now I'm exercising more. I realized that keeping inflammation down through food was the best medicine to minimize a lot of pain. And I helped a lot of people at that point. Like people would hear that and they were going through it. It's like I was in this car accident. I got, my spine is destroyed and their doctors are injecting me full of all kinds of steroids and all this shit that's just making me swell up and it's just not helping and it's just putting a band-aid on a gaping wound. And I would tell them what, when I finally found a doctor that fixed me, what he did and how it worked. And I've helped people. So I wouldn't have been able to help those people if I didn't experience it and get the help and learn from it and get through it. And I'm stronger for it. So that is how you need to be. And that's how you got to be in life. And what the fuck? We are musicians. We are creative entities. Yes? You're telling me that all the things that we can do on guitar and with music, that we can't be creative with our lives and figure out ways to be a musician that could put food on the table? Come on. There's always a way with everybody, every one of you motherfuckers that's watching this thing right now. You are capable of so much, not just as a guitar player holding a guitar, but what you do with this musical output that you have from within. And you need to think of every single way that you can share it with the rest of the world, and the rest of the world will decide what value it has to them. And you need to just do your best, be genuine, be authentic, be legit, and it will be valued. And you'll be fine. You'll find a way. Yeah. So that's what it boils down to. And if it's not fully from music, that's fine too. Whatever you need to do. The most important thing is to put food on the table for the people that depend on you and for your music, both. And invest in your future. And when I say that, that's a lot of things. As a musician, no one is going to take care of you. So, as soon as you can, start putting away a little money for when you retire and when your fingers are too crackly to, for that. Also, at a young age or whenever, starting right now, take really good care of yourself physically because shit is going to happen. it is inevitable. Things are going to happen. You might get cancer. You might get sick. You're going to get injured. All kinds of things are going to happen. Nothing will stop it from happening, but your ability to fight is going to be a whole lot better if you take care of yourself and you exercise, you get sleep, you eat healthy, all of that shit. Please take it from, I'm an old man now, so I'm going to give you all of this old man shit because now I have more life behind me than in front of me. That is for sure. So, the best thing I could do for all of you is to give you advice from someone that has experienced this stuff because it's coming. So, when it does, if you want to be able to fight off all the shit that's going to come at you, you need to strengthen yourself now. You need to be strong. You need to be healthy. So, invest in yourself health wise and invest in yourself. Put away a little bit of money whenever you can for your future. Because those points where you won't be able to make a living because you got injured or whatever it is, and nobody's helping you and no one's there for you, you don't got shit. Now you do because you invested in your future self. That is so important to do. So please do this. Seriously.
No, that's great advice. Thank you for sharing all these, Ron. Like, thank you so much. Like, um, me as a musician too, um, when I was 15, 16, 17, whatever, it was more about the exercises, like I want to get
Mhm.
better. I want to get better. Right now I'm 40 and I'm more about being positive through the music and bring that kind of light that you're bringing right now to me, like that sunshine light. Like, man, the life is great. Music is great. It's not a course, it's like it actually is a gift. It's good and thank you so much for all that. That's valuable. That's more valuable than a sweet picking tax advice. So you understand that right now, because
You can
that's
find that stuff anywhere. Yes.
anywhere, anywhere.
Yeah.
But now when you have here a sensei, Mr. Miyagi here, that's gonna tell you all the reality. He tour, he play in small, big, medium venues. Uh, he plays with also with Brian May. He does everything. He has a hot sauce. He does music for TV. He has a double guitar. The guy is a genius, and he's giving you all this
Hmm.
information.
You were asking about the double guitar.
Yeah,
All,
yeah.
yes, all credit goes to Vigier Guitars, the French company Vigier,
Mhm.
Vigier. Uh, I would make weird guitars in my own version of fretlesses, and they were pieces of crap. They were awful. Uh, but Vigier, the company began in 1980, and I started playing their guitars in 1997. I was on a tour through France, and one of their reps brought a guitar to one of my shows and said, "Try this guitar." And I had my fucked up Swiss cheese guitar, and I was like, "Nah, I'm not looking for an endorsement." And he just insisted. He's like, "Try it," and I played it, and it was just the greatest feeling on my fingers I had ever felt. Uh, so I started using Vigier guitars. And we went to the first NAMM show in 1998. We went together and I was at the booth and I see these,
Sorry, sorry, Ron. That was in Anaheim,
yeah,
like the same
yeah, the
convention
big music
center,
conventions.
same convention center, same spot, same thing, right?
Yeah.
Okay, keep going. Sorry.
And he had these single neck, he didn't have any double necks. It was everything was single neck, but he had these metal necked fretless guitars. And my eyes got big. I'm like, holy, like, why didn't you tell me you make these? And I remember Patrice, it's so funny. I still remember it. He stares up so like frustrated. He looks up and in his French accent, which I'm not going to imitate because it'll sound more like, Botswana than France or something. Uh, he's like, in 18 years of having this company, we have only sold one of them. Nobody wants these fretless guitars. And I was like, give me one. And I started immediately. I took one home and started writing all kinds of music with it. It was all over there, like every album ever since. And it became more of a part of what I do to the point where I wanted to access it not just for a song, but during a song. And the most practical way to do that was to do a double neck. And we thought about retractable frets and different things, but double neck. So it was 2008, 2009. They started making this signature fretted fretless double neck. Yeah. So it's them. They know how
Looks
to build
amazing,
guitars.
man. It looks so
They're
sick.
they're
It
wonderful.
looks
Yeah.
so, yeah, it looks so good. Do you have like a double case, I guess, soft case or hard case? I guess a good hard case when you
I
travel
use
for Jakarta, for example, right now. Uh,
it fits in a soft case that is just the right size that it fits in an overhead. Let me show you. I got one right here.
oh, great.
So surprisingly, the case is not that bad. It's a squishy case
Okay.
and it just fits on the sides and everything, and it fits in the overhead. It's flat enough. If it's a big overhead, it'll even fit over other people's carry-ons.
And it's from the same brand, right? From the same brand that makes the guitar.
I believe it is. Yeah, it came with the guitar, so I'm sure that they're probably having a company make it for them specifically for the guitars.
That's awesome that
But
you
yeah,
can bring it on on the seat, on the fly with you. That's good.
yeah. Anytime I've brought it in a hard case, any guitar in a hard case, and put it in with luggage, it would get just destroyed. Uh,
It's not
so
buttery, no? It's like you
yeah. So I always bring it in a soft case in the overhead. Uh, if possible, they'll put it in the like storage closet, and on a smaller plane, they'll even gate check it where they put the little pink or green tag on it and they board it on with all the baby carriages and everything. And it's safer there than in luggage. Yeah.
awesome. So you bring that plus the Line 6 Helix, of course, your computer, your interface, and that's pretty much right. You're set to play
Yeah.
anywhere.
Yeah.
Bigger shows or smaller shows, bigger venues or smaller venues. Which one you like the
What
most?
what do I prefer?
Yeah, which one you prefer, or which one you like the most? Like you like better stuff in the arena because this, or in the smaller venues, maybe this is better. I feel very nervous for some reason in the smaller venues, man. Like
Oh yeah.
big venues is like I feel a little bit disconnected. Of course,
Perfect word.
I
Yep.
never play at your level, but I have some opening big acts, like big arena things, and everyone is like, "Are you like scared? Are you afraid? Am you nervous?" I'm like, to be honest, they're so far that who cares what I'm playing, man? They don't. I don't think everyone, nobody. I mean, they care, but it's just like I don't feel the connection. Then you're like
Uh,
playing these dive bars or whatever, and they're there. And more if it is like a guitar concert, those dudes right there, like
See,
like
I like that better.
they're like,
That's
I play better than you kind of thing, and they're and I'm like, So
see,
what about you? What about you?
I like small personal shows the most, where you could interact with the people, where you can be eye to eye, where you could smack each other's hands, everything. Yes, I like it where I feel like we're all there as part of the same mob. Absolutely. I don't like, well, I won't say I don't like, but I like less when you're on this big stage, you're far away from everyone on the stage. There's that big moat full of alligators,
Yeah, yeah,
or in this case, cameramen,
yeah.
and then the barrier, and then the people, and yeah, it looks impressive, but it reminds me of when William Shatner actually went to outer space.
Mhm.
He was so excited to do it, but in the end, he said, I feel completely empty and alone out here. I feel like everything is down there, back on Earth. There's nothing out here. It's just emptiness. There's nothingness. And
The
it's the
disconnect.
same kind of thing. When you play a
Yeah,
small show, you feel like you're back on Earth. And when you play the big show, it's like, okay, now I'm just in space. Yeah.
yeah, that's a good analogy. Yeah, yeah. Thank you so much, Ron. Well, thank you so much for your time, and I don't want to take more of your time. I think I can stay here with talking to you about life like for the whole rest of the week, man. Thank you so much.
No, it's my pleasure. I'm sorry that Zoom is not allowing for sound. I tried, I did the settings, and it's not doing it because I would love to,
No, it's
rather than
okay.
just like miming to silence.
Maybe
Yeah.
next time. Maybe next time. Maybe I hope it's a next time. I hope um it's a next time for sure, man, because I really, really appreciate all your knowledge today. And again, all of us in the community are big fans of you. And um, to be honest, I talked to again the Brazilian friends that I told you that we share in common, and they just said good things about you. And I was like, oh,
Oh,
great.
nice.
You never know if it's gonna be a rock star ego thing.
Well, I thank you. Hello to the mutual Brazilian friends, and a big thank you to everyone in the community. Absolutely. It's a wonderful community, and I'm happy to be part of it.
Oh,
All
thank you,
us
Ron, and
guitar
I hope it's
players.
a next time for this, for a jam or something.
Very cool. Yeah.
Okay, so have a good one. Don't hang up right there. I'm gonna ask you a couple things behind
Okay.
it. Nothing crazy, just kidding. Okay, okay.
All
See
right. Thank you so much.